Good morning. The Old Fisherman back with you again. Lake Monticello. We just caught us a perch. And we're going to try to catch some more of them babies. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Caught him on my doggone homemade gup shrimp. See it? We're going to try to catch some more with it. Fish are down there. We're trying to make them bite. They're down there. They don't want to bite, people. They just don't want to bite. Because they there. I seen them. They're right up here on top of this ridge where I caught them yesterday. God's up. And we got to stir them up, get them to bite. That's what we got to do. And they just don't want to hit right yet. We'll get them stirred up and catch them. They're there. They can't fool the old fisherman. I seen them. Plenty of them. And they only want it. You can jerk it all you want to. They only want it reeling that joker up from the bottom. You let it out and you reel it up to the bottom. I got to pull up because the wind blew me back while I was getting my camera on. But hey, you got to reel it up from the bottom, straight up, and they'll hit it. Like I caught them yesterday, the only way they'll hit it. They will not hit that thing any other way. You can jiggle it, you can jerk it up and down, won't take it. But you go to reel it straight up, and it's going away from them, they will hit it. But hey, not every time. You got to get them stirred up. They down there. They down there. Man, that's the only way they'll bite shrimp right now. My homemade shrimp. Probably the gup shrimp too. They just don't want it jiggling. The white perch want it swimming up through them, and they'll run up behind it and grab it. And that's what they'll do. We're gonna drop it to the bottom. And we're gonna try to get on some of these doggone white perch with our homemade Comalander, You Gotta Love It Jig this morning. I let it at the bottom, I'll start reeling up and see them want to take it. That's the only way I catch them. And if you don't bite it all the way up, halfway up, you drop it back down. If nothing else, you're stirring them up, make them run at it. And that's what we're doing. That's the method in catching these fish right now. Until you get on some that's really feeding, I just don't think they're going to hit jerking it up and down or to come along circuit swing or anything. They want it swimming up. So we just got to reel it up, keep reeling it up. One bumped it right down, see? Run up there and bump it. After a while, after you catch a couple of them, get them going, I think you can catch a few. That's what happened yesterday. And the more that sun goes up, before lunch, after lunch, they're hard to catch. Unless maybe later in the evening, I'm not here then. But until that sun gets up, they're harder to catch. There is, see that? You got to reel it up. Is the way you do it. They will hit it that way only. And that's a nice perch. The Comalander, You Gotta Love It Jig, is doing it again this morning. We're using a white. I used some white flukes that I melted down. And the key is you don't melt them too fast or burn them. If you burn them, they turn brown. So you got to do it real slow till it melts down and then pour them in your little jig mold. And that's the way I done it. Like I say, I got a rough mold. It's a place you can go and buy a daggone mold. You got to get them, make your mold. I think I'm gonna do that, and then you get the rubber injected in, and you can put colors in it and all that stuff. I'm learning about this stuff, but that's probably what we're going to end up doing. Right now, we're doing it the old-fashioned way. I made a homemade mold, and it's not beautiful, but hey, it works. It works. It don't have to be a perfect jig. See that? It works. All you got to do, it's all about the way you present it. You can jerk it up and down in front of them, they won't touch it. But if you go to reel that thing up, they'll hit it. And that's the way it is. They will hit it. They like it coming up off the bottom. And once you start catching a few, you can sit there and catch them. Right now, I got them stirred up off the bottom. They all up and down under me because I caught them couple. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to catch these fish and to be able to adapt, to change. You know, the old bump in the bottom style right now might work at another spot, but right here, I jerked up and down on the bottom. Well, I'll show you. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna drop it to the bottom, and I'll bet you one won't hit it me jerking up and down. But I'll bet you I start reeling it and getting about 8 foot off that bottom, want to take it. I'll bet you. Now, we're gonna jerk it. Just show you. I'm gonna jerk it hard, and then I'm gonna jerk it slow. Oh, I lied. One hit it on the way down jerk. So, hey, they will hit it jerking. So I got them stirred up now, is what it is. Got them stirred up. I got them stirred up. He bumped it, but they didn't take it. Okay? Now, I'm going to let it down, and I'm going to reel it. I'm going to reel it up. See what happens. Nothing. But hey, a couple of them hit it jerky. I didn't think they would. I'll be honest with you. They fooled me on that one. They fooled me on that one because I didn't think they was going to do it, but they did. I twisted that first time in the line and said, doop, but I didn't catch him. All right, now let it at the bottom, and I'm gonna hold it up there like this a couple times and shake it up and down and see if we can get one to take it. Then I'm reel it up. Sometimes you pull it up like that real slow. It's the same thing as reeling it up. You just don't. You're not getting high enough to where I've been catching them by the time they hit it. Now I got a couple bites. Now they quit. Doggone it! I tell you, they're there. There's no doubt they're there. They're just not biting. That's what it is. They're just not biting. They don't want it. They don't want it yo-yoing. They want it when it's running away from them. And that's the only way, really the only way I could catch them yesterday. Let it to the bottom. Ain't got down there yet. That's way down yonder. Let it to the bottom. Okay, line on the bottom. Now I'm gonna reel it up. Just reel it up. See what happens. There you is. What I tell you. They want it reeling up. That's what they want. He got off. No, that was a nice one too. He got off right at the top of the water. Oh well. But he will. That's the way they want it. They want it reeling up. That's the way you got to do it. Drop it down and reel it up. That's what you do. That's what it takes to catch these fish right now. Drop it down and reel it up. One that hit it going down. Look at that. One hit it on the way down. So they stir it up way up. Stir it up way up. Now they start to get in a feed. The Old Fisherman's got them into a feed. That's a jumbo delight. Jumbo delight. You gotta love it. With the Old Fisherman's white gup, you gotta love it shrimp. That's what it is. Hey, a white gup, you got to love it shrimp. Look at that. Huh? I told you. They'll bite it. Now look at that. See that shrimp? They'll bite it. Get back up there and drop it back down before I fall out the boat. Getting in a hurry. The Old Fisherman's gonna be swimming here in a minute. Drop it back there. Hey, y'all don't get worried. He can swim. Rick, I'm fat enough I can float. Drop it back down. Hey, the bottom's covered. Bottom's covered. We're gonna catch them. I got a feeling we're gonna catch them on the Come Around to You Gotta Love It Jig today. It's gonna happen. If I don't delete the film, then we all get to see it tonight. And let me tell you, I'm gonna be real careful about deleting them films today. I'm trying not to make that mistake twice. Okay, we're dropping it down to the bottom. Letting it go down. Now, we're on the bottom. I'm start reeling it. Start reeling it up. See what happens. He hit it. He hit it. He hit it. Drop it back down. Hey, we got it going. Cumberland's getting excited. Everything's going good. Got a cool breeze. Sun's coming up. Everything's looking good here this morning. All we got to do is catch fish. All we got to do is catch these fish. Oh, he crushed it. Oh my. He crushed it. He crushed it. And I missed it. And they all over the bottom. The fish are there. And we're getting them stirred up. That's the thing. Stir it up and keep them stirred up. Keep them interested. And let them think the shrimp coming. Not shrimp. Let them think the shad coming through here and want to bust it. Hit it again. They hitting it. They won't. It's funny. You catch a couple and then they'll start tapping on it. Hey, I've hammered these fish quite a bit, and so they're getting a little bit used to the Old Fisherman's learning how to do it. And you have to keep changing. But hey, I don't know how. I ain't got many more ways to change to. If they quit biting this way, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, he's hitting it. They're hitting it every time. Make me jerk myself out of the seat, and I miss them. And they could be smaller fish. I might be just catching the bigger ones, you know. And them little ones, that's hard to get. My shrimp's a little bit bigger than that other shrimp. And it's harder for them to stay it. They hit it every time about halfway up. And I missed them. You see it, I missed them. Hey, that's okay. That's okay, we'll get them. One way or another, we'll get them. Jokers. My determination will get them. I'm not gonna let them beat me. No. I'll figure something out. All right, let's try it again. Every time they hit it. Every time. Got to be little fish. If they're not really hungry, and the big ones are just bumping, mad at it. They're running up there and bumping it. Okay, let's try it again. Doggone it. Oh, didn't get one that time. That ain't good. No, there he is. Hit it up higher. Doggone. We got to do something. We got to do something. Fish are there and I can't catch them. We got to do something. We got to do something. Yesterday I put a Mr. George on. I know y'all probably know what a Mr. George is. I said, you know something? With that little spinner, they ought to eat it up. I never got a bite. Never got a bite. And I used to catch them on that little, call it Little George, not Mr. George, sorry. Little George. I never got a bite on Little George. Every time I go to reel it up, one hits and I'm not catching it. Now I got some white gup shrimp that the fellas give me. They called it two older guys. Well, I say older guys. One of them was younger than me, and the other might have been a little bit older. But they give me, they call themselves the Brokeback Fisherman. They've been looking at my shows. There you go. They've been looking at my shows, and they come out here yesterday, and the poor things didn't catch but a couple fish. Whoa, oh, that's a nice one. They didn't catch but a couple fish. When I got to the landing, I felt sorry for them, so I give them a bucket full of fish, and they give me a couple white gup shrimp, and they want to be known as the Brokeback Fisherman because both of them got bad backs. And but that's the third trip they done made out here. They've been looking at my videos, and they hadn't caught any much. Couldn't get on them. I'm gonna tell you people, I got a lot of hours on this lake. And not saying that they're not good fishermen, they just don't know where to go. And they go to the depth, I'm telling, but they ain't everywhere at that depth. They at certain spots. Just like good places on a good brush is better than others. You got to get the right spot to catch these fish. If you don't get in the right spot, you can't catch them. Hey, you got to know where they're at. And I fish a lot. I fish every day, just about. And that is a big important thing too. Because you know, if I take a couple days off, look at that jumbo delight on the old Cumberlander. You gotta love it jig. What am I trying to tell you? That they will bite. That you got to love it jig. But anyhow, going back to my story, I give them some fish. They give me a couple of white gup shrimp that he had left. He said he wasn't coming back. So I don't want somebody to drive hundreds of miles. I don't know how far they come. I don't think they come that far. But to come over here because it looks so inviting when I'm catching these fish, because it ain't necessarily true that you're going to catch them. Now, I got a couple friends, old Mike, that I introduced the other day and fished with. He's out here today. Now, he's good. He's familiar with fishing, and he catches them. He's a good fisherman. Now, he catches them, and he's from Lancaster. And I see him over there right now. He's gonna bring me some white gup shrimp. But he found him a little spot over there. He's catching them all. I hadn't tried that in long. I used to catch them over there a long time ago. I just ain't got over there yet. But he's been catching some. About every time he comes, he catches them. So he'll probably come up on me before the day's over. I tell you what, these fish are down there. They starting to hit. We'll get them. But some people just has got a little bit more fishing ability than others. And it takes a lot. You're not just gonna come out here in this water and drop down anywhere and catch these fish. That ain't gonna happen. I don't think. You might get lucky. Everybody can get lucky. But to do it on every day, from day to day to day to day, you got to know something. And by doing it every day to day to day to day, you can stay on fish and you can stay in tune with these fish. So that's why the people that's got to work, it's hard to stay on fish, and you got to remember what you've done from year to year and where you went, and that might change from year to year. Nothing stays the same. But hey, we catching them on the Cumberlander, and they're pretty nice ones too. Kind of like what we caught yesterday. Caught some nice ones like that yesterday. And the Cumberlander port jig, the You Got to Love It jig is what it is. I don't know if we'll ever get any kind of mass production, but I can tell you this, you can catch 100, 200 on one jig. You ain't got to worry about catching 2 and 3 and they falling off. I can tell you that. Not on this jig. I ain't too sure I couldn't catch 500 on this jig. It ain't even thinking about ripping. So, hey, it ain't all about scent with these perks. Now, it might be for them catfish. And I ain't too sure the catfish won't hit it. But I just think, I think that scent might help on the catfish. Now, I'll tell you what I did do. I did soak mine last night, and I don't smell anything different this morning, but I did soak my jig. Look at that. No. I soaked my jig in some fish meal and a little bit of vegetable oil combination. The night before, I put them in some powdered fish meal. They smelled good when I took them out. By the time I put them in the water, it washed right off. So I'm thinking it don't stay on them. I got them in a little oil now, but I smelled it a while ago. After I put it in the water a couple times, it don't smell the same. Now, right before I put it in the water, it smelled the same. So, you know, unless it's some kind of, and that too, that's something else to think about. Unless you got little holes in your jig, if you got little pinholes up in there, and that stuff can get up in there, it might stay on it. And that's something else I'll experiment with. I'll either take a pin or a hook and just dig me some holes up in the doggone jig and see if that'll help hold the scent. Hey, I'm thinking out loud, and I'm experimenting with these jigs. Is what I'm doing. I'm trying to make my mind up whether that scent it makes a difference or not. Now, I will say this, the gut shrimp feels more realistic than my shrimp. But hey, you see that right now, as far as a reaction bite, that my shrimp works just as good. And I can see it, I'll tell you that. It works just as good as the gut shrimp, and they nice fish. They good fish. And that shrimp right there ain't even thought about tearing up. No. Of course, you know, some of my shrimp, you never make any money off of them because they last too long. So gut don't want their shrimp to last that long. And therefore means more profit for them. And that's the way it is. But the old fisherman is back out here catching perch the way he loves to catch them with his shrimp on a suspended pattern. You let it to the bottom and you reel it up. That's all you got to do. You start reeling like you're winding it in, and most of the time want to bump it. If you don't, you stop it about halfway up and drop it back down. You see what I'm doing? You drop it right back down again, let it go to the bottom, and you reel it up again. Now I'm going to tell you people a little story. What happened to the old fisherman. I ought not admit to this, but the old fisherman, hey, just like deleting them films off his camera. Uh-oh. What the world done happened here? Just like deleting them films off the camera. Well, the old fisherman messed up this weekend. I'm going to tell you what he's doing. I'm going to tell the world what I've done. Well, it might help somebody else that thinks he knows it all, like the old fisherman. My wife, I love her to death. But she thought that she decided that she had this beautiful red hair. Let me tell you, I mean, it's, you know, red hair's got good, thick, full hair. And I've been told her before, I don't like them women with the hair cut up in the back. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the looks of it. It's my opinion. I mean, I know it's be a bunch of girls out there, so I like that. But it's hard for me to like it because I'm used to a little hair in the back. Well, my wife decided she's going to get a haircut. And I walked in the house unexpected of all of this. And lo and behold, there she sits with her hair chopped off. And that thing shocked me so bad, I said, what in the world did you do that for? Don't do that. No, don't do that. You just grin, say, I love it, honey, and go on. Don't make the mistake the old fisherman made. Took me a day or so to get out of that rut. But it's just a shock of her cutting her hair off, and I wasn't expecting it. I made the mistake of saying, what in the world did you do that for? Don't do it. There's two things you don't do with your wife. One of them is say something about her weight, and the other is say something about her hair. But hey, everything's good, but there for a little bit it wasn't. Woo! My wife, when she gets mad, she don't want to say nothing. I'd rather have one tell me what they think. My wife, she's just the opposite. She keeps quiet. And to me, that's worse than saying something back to me. Boy, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll never ever do that again. I'm 66 years old. I already knew better than that. Yeah, just that sudden reaction. It's kind of like that reaction bite with these perch. They look at that thing, they don't think nothing about it, but I go to reeling it up, they want to bite it. Well, that reaction bite with my wife's hair wasn't good neither, let me tell you. Lord have mercy, that fish cream. Oh, you gotta love it. Yeah, my reaction bite to my wife's haircut was not good. Just like people, that Jumbo Magnum Delight perch right here. Just like him. His reaction bite to that jig was not good. Well, that's the same way as my reaction bite was to my wife and her haircut. So you fellas out there, you listen to what the old fisherman's saying. You don't say nothing about your wife's haircut. Hey, one thing's for sure. Once it's cut, it's cut. It can't come back until a couple more months. And as short as my wife's hair got, it'll be more than a couple more months. But hey, right now, to be honest with you though, it's grew on me. I like it now. But at first, oh my, I didn't know how to take that. No, I wasn't expecting that. Just like them perch wasn't expecting that jig to catch him in by the lip. Well, that haircut caught the old fisherman by the lip, I can tell you that. And the old lip needs to be shut when the wife gets a haircut. Y'all remember that. Lord have mercy. One thing's for sure. If mama ain't happy, daddy ain't happy. So watch your lip. Watch your lip. I know y'all gonna appreciate that. And all you women out there say, I told you so, you better watch your lip, but that's the truth. But anyhow, let's get back to catching some of these perch. Hey, we catch some pretty good sized perch. Same way as I did yesterday, only yesterday was faster. Where I deleted all them videos, yesterday was faster. But hey, this fast enough. If I can get it down there and I can reel it up through them and a big one like that crushes it, hey, I can't complain. I can tell you right now, I can't complain. As long as they hit that thing ever so often, every 2 or 3 times I drop it to the bottom and reel it up, hey, that ain't no different than casting. It's better than casting. I ain't got to cast. All I got to do is mash that clip or flip that bell and let it go down. That's all I got to do. So this is better than casting. About the same rate as casting. Just reel it up and want to crush it if you get it by him. He can't stand that thing swimming away. I'm telling you. If he's laying down on the bottom, just cruising around, and boom, this thing drops in front of him. And he said, what's that? And the old fisherman clips that bell over and starts whining and starts going away from him. He runs up behind it and said, my God, I got to get that jig. That jig's a minnow. And it what? It had a hook in it. So, hey, that's what you got to do to catch these fish. Now we're getting a little bit off of, see, I'm gonna let them relax, tell him my story, and let them relax. When they relax, they get used to something. And they just lay back down on the bottom and then you can't get them to bite for a while. And that's the way it works. You got to keep them going. And right now, I done got off there. They here, I'm telling you, way up yonder, and they good ones. Look at that. Look at that thing. Look at that rod, people. Oh my, you gotta love it. The old fisherman's having him a ball. He's having him a ball on Lake Monticello. Once again, catching Jumbo Magnum Delight perch with his homemade rig, and you got to love it. Look at here. You think that homemade rig ain't got that fish? Look at that. Huh? You think he ain't got it? Look at that. A Jumbo Delight perch. You got to love it. Look at that. That's a big fish. That is a big perch, people, on that little homemade jig. Look at that thing. Ain't it pretty? Huh? Ain't that thing pretty? Look at it. Take a good look at it. The tail is flat, just almost like the old gulp shrimp. It's a little bit bigger. Hey, guess what? You missed the little ones, but you catch the bigger ones with a little bit bigger. Not too much bigger. I got a 3-inch in there I bought, but I ain't too sure about the 3-inch. I think that's a little bit too big. Hey, let's get it back down. Hey, catch another one on Lake Monticello. Oh my. And I got one other thing I'm gonna tell y'all, and I've been trying to say it every time I put it on film. Since Mother's Day, I've been trying to do this. Something happens, I don't catch any fish, and you don't get it, and you don't see it, but I want all of you people out there, and hey, I hate to preach, but I'm gonna tell you, I always like to tell some life stories, that about the wife's haircut and the weight, that's a life story. Don't do none of that. But another life story you need to know, oh man, is listen, and I done this over Mother's Day, and I never got it on film, one that I could use. But people, you need to go see your parents if they still living. I guess kids out there that when they move out of the house, they don't even call their mom and daddy. That ain't right. You need to stay in touch with your mom and daddy. You need to always stay in touch with your mom and daddy. I don't care if you got a squall going on, something ain't right, you need to make it right. Don't let your parents pass away and you got some kind of disposition problem with your mom and daddy who raised you. Hey, you ain't got but one mom and daddy. And I reckon you can adopt one, but as far as the real mom and daddy that done put you in this world, ain't but one, ain't but a pair of them there. And things happen in life that, that make you kind of go apart, I guess. But you need to know. You don't need to let it end like that. So you need to make up with your parents if something's going on, and if ain't nothing going on, don't take them for granted. Call them ever so often. Call them and let them know how much you love them and how much you appreciate everything they've done for you. And do the right thing. And look at that, we got another jumbo delight perch. You gotta love it, but you really need to do that. You don't want them to pass away. My mom and daddy's gone, and I miss them. When my mama was alive, either she called me or I called her every day. And you know what? I'll never forget that. It means a lot. And you kids out there that take it for granted that the only time you go see your mom and daddy is when you want something. Well, you really ought not be like that. You really ought to give back and help them, and at least call them and talk with them. It means a lot to them. Now I'm telling you. So just don't abandon your mom and daddy, and keep doing what you're supposed to be doing with that. And the Old Fisherman is wearing them out today on his jig. You Gotta Love It Jig. I said yesterday it would be the Cumberland jig, but if people got to talking, it needs to be the You Gotta Love It Jig. And hey, who knows? You might can buy it. And if I tell you one thing, the gut shrimp won't like it because mine will last. I ain't gonna shortchange somebody. Mine will last. If I get somebody to produce this thing, hey, I might do it. I can't sit there and pull them one by one. I ain't gonna do that. But if I get somebody to make them for me, I got to find out. I don't know. Gut shrimp might sue me. I don't know. I probably can't take their mold, but hey, I don't know why I couldn't make one close to it. It don't have to look like a shrimp. My fish are biting it as a minnow. They're biting it as a minnow. And so, hey, we might produce a You Gotta Love It Jig. I got a lot of things I need to do. I don't know. I need to quit fishing to do all these things. I need to get t-shirts out. And we checking in and there. We had some sharp looking, you can go to the computer and design t-shirts. Man, we had some sharp looking t-shirts made on the computer. But they cost doggone much. I can't sell them. Till you get them, they're about $12. And then if you charge $20, people ain't gonna pay no more than $20 for a t-shirt. Till I get them shipped out, it won't be anything to be made. But I don't know. I got to find, and I don't want nothing cheap. So I need a marketing person. My son's taking business and about to get his degree, but I can't get him interested, Adam, to jump on this thing and help me. Clay's over there at nuclear power plant working, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I can tell you this: them t-shirts look good. Man, I ain't lying. With that little fishing emblem on the back. And you can set it up on the computer and it'll show you what it's going to look like. And I like it. But about $12 if I buy $400 worth of iron. If y'all know anybody out there that knows, maybe anybody that makes these t-shirts and stuff, they interested in trying to hook up with the Old Fisherman, and maybe get in with me and help me out. Put on my show about it, and I'll give you the information you need. I had my phone number on it one time, but my son made me take that off because he said I'd be bugged too much. So I can't do that. So I have to set it up where, you know, you can get in touch with me, and we'll get in touch and we'll do some business. But I need some help. I can't fish and do this and that too, and I just ain't got the strength. And oh my, look at what just hit. Oh, come Alanda, you got to love it jig, a big old catfish. I don't know how big he is, but he's a catfish, I think. So the catfish will bite the You Got to Love It jig. Hey, you got to love it. You got to love it when the catfish bite it. Look at that. Hey, chatting on catfish. Hey, I love it. I can tell you that. And guess what? He's clamped down on my jig, but hey, he can't tear my jig up. That thing's sitting in there like it's brand new. Oh my. Old Gulp Shrimp, they done took about $1,000 from me. At least $1,000 over the year, last 2-3 years of Gulp Shrimp buying. Not anymore. They done got their last money out of me. And I want you people from Gulp Shrimp to hear that, because you never give me one jig. I never couldn't get in touch with me. I couldn't get in touch with you. I tried everything. I carried flash drives out there to your pier fishing operation and give it to the secretary or some guy and never heard nothing. You don't even have the respect for people that tries to help and do things and sell your plugs. So I don't care. I'll make my own. That's the way y'all want to be. And I am catching on the Camelanda Gulp Shrimp. And people, we're going to end this with this one. You see the Old Fisherman wearing them out. Now, he ain't no jumbo delight like some of them, but hey, we got a couple jumbo delights in here. We got a couple jumbo delights. I'm talking nice. They're not huge. They're not huge. But I tell you what, they pretty good size. If I get one in my hand. Look at that. Huh? Jumbo delight, white perch on what? On what? The Camelanda Gulp Shrimp, and you got to love it. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? You got to love the Camelanda Gulp Shrimp. People, I'll be right back with you with another video. Steve Camelanda, Lake Monticello.